Hey everyone, how's it going? Every day I'm always scouring the internet for new pieces of content with the same level of intensity as someone spotting marks of dirt on their favorite glass for their morning coffees. What I'm looking for is pretty much an infinite selection at the touch of a keystroke here when it comes to pieces of media. I can look at one genre and I'll find endless options with varying degrees of quality, which gives me an infinite pool of content to cover. Sometimes when I look for genres, let's say shooters or racing games or horror, or literally anything you can think of, I also look for moods or themes. Using mood boards or examples of a subject can sometimes trigger a sudden interest in the type of game or piece of media I want to consume and cover. For example, I started thinking about Space Engine, a universe simulator that details everything about the known universe, about as far as we know anyways. Well, I began wondering, what if there was an equivalent to that, but of the ocean itself? So, I don't know, Ocean Engine. So I started searching and so far I haven't found anything yet that resembles it. But the mood for ocean related content was still there, so I got to searching for alternatives, even if it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. On itch.io there's plenty of them, and there are also some other well regarded titles like Subnautica and Dredge that I looked at as some of the best sea-based games out there today. But I wasn't too picky and I didn't care if it was short or long, or if it wasn't that good, or if it was good. Just something that would garner enough interest for me to try it out. Eventually, I settled on one small title, known as Oceanwork. Oceanwork is a small ocean-based exploration mining game, developed by Walkus during the 48th London Dare Game Jam in 72 hours, who is also known for developing short, low-poly-based games confined by the nostalgic art style and graphics of the PS1 and the N64. They're games that I haven't looked at yet, but the one with the ocean was what got to me first, so I guess it won the lottery out of the bunch. Anyways, Oceanwork, like the other titles, seems to go for a short runtime and you can beat it in a sitting. But there is enough content in each of them to ponder about and also develop theories or ideas as to what occurs in each game. Oceanwork is the sort of game that you can appreciate if you're into the idea of diving into an ocean with secrets of its own. Like the universe, the ocean itself is something we haven't fully explored or mapped yet. In the case of the ocean, you have different percentages being pointed out, like 5% of the world ocean being explored, 26.1% of the global seafloor being explored, or at least according to what I read anyways, because my knowledge of the ocean in general is significantly less than that anyways, and even less so in the ocean that we see in this game. In any event, let's take a dive into this one. The premise of Oceanwork is that you're more or less a prisoner sent to a water planet that is rich with resources. Your penalty is that you have to dive into the water and begin leveling up your mining skill level like you do in RuneScape, collect minerals of different kinds, and work towards clearing your bounty so that you can secure your freedom. The ship docks you in an incredibly uninhabitable place. No room for you to rest in, no canteen at least for a quick bite, or a shower for that matter. All you have is a woman that sells you stuff for extended dives into the ocean, and also the means to pay off your bounty so that you can get off the planet. Your punishment as well in this game is not just being stuck in the middle of the ocean, but it's also the lack of a save option, and also no real means to fight off the fish that you'll have to deal with in the water. With no other options, you begin your first dive and start mining the nearest source of minerals, copper. This is the easiest source of minerals to go for at first. But the necessity to upgrade will come very soon, and it's for several reasons. For starters, your equipment can only take you so far in terms of the depth, as well as the oxygen in your tank. Going too far down will harm you, and running out of air will kill you, respawning you back at the place as well as taxing you for the effort to bring you back. While you're mining, you also have other fish to contend with, and once they're aware of your presence, they'll pretty much come after you like food at the buffet. The main loop of the game is this. Mine minerals, sell minerals, buy upgrades, rinse and repeat until you pay off your bounty so that you can then leave the planet. The other minerals consist of tin, iron, silver, gold, platinum, and mithril. The later minerals gives you a lot more in terms of currency, which makes obtaining all the upgrades easier, and by the time you get all of them, mining becomes so brain dead easy because 1, the fins that you get make you really fast, and no longer do you have to worry about giant fish eating at your oxygen meter and making you drown, and also maxing out the pickaxe upgrades makes it so that all you have to do is just click once, and there you have it. Other upgrades will also increase how far you go as well as how long you can stay underwater. You have sonar to detect objects easier, a module that collects plankton over time, Overall, it just becomes pretty easy very quickly once you start snowballing currency for upgrades, and not long afterwards, you buy the bounty, and then you watch yourself fly off the planet, glad that your penance is over. Oceanwork was a fun, relaxing game with some neat low-poly visuals and simple progression that made the mining process, fairly easy and relaxing in its own way. It's the kind of game I would have liked to see more of, but it was just that, a short and sweet, relaxing diving experience. Or was it?
This is Stardom 1-2. I have visual on the prisoner. Descending down into the planet as we speak. Entry point confirmed. Heat signatures on the vessel seem to be in the clear. Inform the crew of the prisoner's arrival to initiate docking phase. Patch me to Channel 0. Sir, we recovered that footage that you requested of the last person down there. Do you want me to send the message? Yes, sir. I'll hold it. Stardom 1-2 signing out. Holy hell. Good God. It's coming right at us. Oh God! Oh!
You see, there are actually two endings to the game, and the second ending requires a lot more dicking around, but it does come with its own twist. You see, you can just mine the minerals and work off your bounty so that you can leave the planet. But here's another thing to consider as well. 1. The planet is rich with resources, and because of your laborious efforts to mine these resources, whoever sent you here has a reliable asset on their hands. So when you think about it, and think about how productive you've become, why would they ever let you go? There's not a lot to work with on this considering how short the game is, but here is something that you can find if you explore a bit more. For starters, while you're exploring the ocean, you find another ship like yours, with 3 corpses. One of these corpses has coordinates to somewhere that you can travel to, but the question is, how did the ship get into the water in the first place? Our one is docked nice and tight, and also the value of the minerals is really high as well. I know it's for game purposes, but let's just play around with this for a second. You work tirelessly and feed the minerals that are clearly benefiting those that put you there in the first place. They know that you're working with the hope of clearing your name. If that's the case, then all they have to do is set it up in a way where you make gradual but steady progress. And when you've outlived your usefulness, they'll let you go, then shoot you down. Repeating this cycle again and sending another poor schmuck to the ocean to pay off their bounty. Now that's one possible theory that I have, but maybe in a more realized version of this game that is a story element that could be explored. But there is also another thing, and it's tied to a secret ending that the ocean holds. That secret is connected to the squid-like obelisk that you can find. At first you can't do anything with it, but if you find those corpses that I mentioned, then what you can do is take coordinates from them that'll eventually lead you to another obelisk. This is where things start to get weird. The depth you reach and the oxygen that you have goes far beyond than what you can actually handle. And you also start to see creatures that you didn't see before. Large floating squids that are far down to where any other human would be crushed by the sheer weight of the ocean. This weird and strange trip, thanks to the coordinates, takes you somewhere else in the ocean that was not in the paperwork. At the final set of coordinates, you see a group of large squids and an altar being surrounded by them. When you approach it, you're given a chance to touch the altar, which then shoots out a beam, and then creates a black hole before it dissipates. Then the game just ends. It's not made apparent as to what you just did, but it can't be anything too good. This part of the game is where the horror element comes in, and it comes from realizing how deep into the ocean you're in, as well as the uncertainty of what you've just done. Who built these obelisks? Why were these squids waiting around the altar? What did the altar do when we touched it? In a more fleshed out version of the project, we could have more info, but one possible theory is that we've woken up something by accident. Something unknown and potentially dangerous. It's probably a Lovecraftian creature or something, I don't know, but that is Oceanwork at the end of the day. A game where you can make level 99 mining players from RuneScape blush with your mining speed, or go far into the abyss and supposedly awake some eldritch being or something like that. It's a short, enjoyable game that has some nice low-poly visuals, fun exploring, and simple mining that you can beat fairly quickly. But it is also something I would like to see a lot more of, and it would be cool to see the developer make a much bigger and more realized version of Oceanwork. If you're looking for short and sweet chill games with a horror twist that also involves the ocean, then give Oceanwork a try. Plus, it's also free, so there's nothing to lose here, besides your sanity if you have thalassophobia. Stay safe swimming, and thanks for watching.